Hey, so I'm doing another video here in India. It might be my last video in India. I guess from my original operation, it has been about, I'd say 8.5 months about now. I got it September 1st, let's say, last year in 2013. I say let's say because it was a 2-day operation. One was August 30th and the other one was September 1st or September 3rd or something, so let's just go with September 1st, 2013. So it's been about 8.5 months. The reason I'm doing this video is because I know those last few videos kind of lost track of the original videos I was doing with the operation I had. So I just wanted to do this one to kind of get us back on track with progress on the hair transplant. Now, I'm not sure if you're seeing anything white in my hair. I'm putting the title of this video 10% minoxidil for a reason. I took Rogaine, I don't use Rogaine, I use minoxidil, but I tend to say Rogaine. I use minoxidil still twice a day, as consistent as I can. And so I took 5% minoxidil 2 years to India, and it's ran out already. The other day I was in the market in India and I happened to stumble on a 10% minoxidil. I wasn't actually looking for minoxidil, but I happened to see it and I decided to get it, to try out the 10% minoxidil. That 10 stands for 10%, I believe. Yeah, and here it is in the, that might be backwards for you, I'm not sure, but it says minoxidil 10% and alcohol's in it 50%. This is the foam version. They even had a liquid version. I got both. It cost, in rupees, I forgot how much it cost, like 650 rupees each. That's about 10 bucks USD. And so I'm doing this video because also in the States I've never seen 10% minoxidil. I've heard of it. I've even heard of 15% minoxidil. They sell Rogaine extra strength at 5%. And the Rogaine for women is 2.5% minoxidil. I've used 5% minoxidil most of my time I've ever used Rogaine since I was 21. One of my coworkers is the one who told me about 10% minoxidil, and so I did look it up when I was back in the States to see if I could find it ever, but I could only find it online, and I thought, I don't want to buy it online, and I'm not sure if I even found 15% online. Maybe you guys can Google that and check it out. But he told me that he looked into Rogaine or minoxidil as well, and he said that your body gets used to the 2.5% and then gets used to the 5%. So what really ends up happening is maybe it slows down hair loss. It may even prevent a little bit, but the actual growth on it doesn't occur anymore because your body gets used to the 5%. So he's the one who told me about 10% back when I was in the States. Like I said, I looked into it after he told me that. I couldn't find it, so I said, I'll stick with the 5%, whatever. But now being in India and stumbling on it, being right there, able to buy it, I decided, let me go ahead and try the 10%. What does that mean? Does it mean when I run out of 10%, I have no choice but to go back to the 5%, unless I go buy a bunch of them right now. I don't really feel like doing that. Honestly, Rogaine, it did have a significant effect when I first started using it. That probably goes back to my body getting used to it. And when I did stop last year in March, I lost a significant amount of hair. I had a proper hairline. It was just thin still back in March 2013. The reason I stopped was for two reasons. One, I knew I was kind of getting a hair transplant, and also second, I figured I was done with Rogaine at that point. I was like, I don't want to use this the rest of my life. Is it really even helping? I wasn't sure. When I saw the hair falling out and I'm losing it instantly, I realized Rogaine must have been helping. But that hair, it wasn't like this hair transplant hair. This hair transplant hair, it grows quite long and quite fast. That Rogaine hair was a little peach fuzzy type of hair. It became into it. And honestly, I still was losing hair. So at this point, I think I would have still been at the same spot, even if I was consistently using Rogaine. Maybe a tad bit more. I went back to it after I realized such a great loss I had. I had literally had photos from June to July, and I had lost a lot of hair as soon as I stopped using Rogaine. And so I figured, using Rogaine is just something, like brushing your teeth. You just got to do it every day. Just taking a shower. working out is just something you gotta just do for the rest of your life. Can't take it for granted. Even people maybe who don't have hair loss as much as me, maybe they notice a little bit. I think they can even gain from using Rogaine or minoxidil at least. It just adds that extra thickness to your hair. And this 10%, I want to talk about how it's a little different than the 5%. I did bring the 5% to India, so it's not the temperature or something messing with it. It's the 5% there, and it worked the same in my head. Just 10% is a little bit thicker, and that's why I said when I showed my head, if you see some white stuff, because I think maybe I still see some in it. You rub it in, and it spreads, and it's thicker. I even had a bunch I think you can still see that whiteness. It's not just my white hair. That little layer of whiteness, and no matter how much I rub it in, it's just there. Maybe that's why body not being able to absorb all the 10% minoxidil. I don't know, honestly. It's just a thicker consistency. Maybe that's what minoxidil is. As far as side effects, I just started taking it. If I notice some ridiculous side effects, itchy scalp or red scalp, or the side effects that Rogaine mentions, I'm probably definitely going to just stop using it, go back to the 5%. Let's just look at my hand. Watch the previous videos. Like I said, Dr. Benhem, he's quite good. He didn't leave any scars or lines in the back of my head. Let me try to. It's just so tough trying to handle this sometimes. Okay, if you do see like a minor line right here in the back, that's not a scar. That's actually when I came here to India, they started doing FUE, where they start pulling out the follicles just to strip because they need to make the stem cells. So that's actually. It's just unevenness of the hair. Actually, if I shave it down right now, a full shave, or get a proper haircut again right now, it'll look perfect. It'll be even because that hair grew out and this hair is growing a little longer. So it's just an unevenness in hair. That's all it is. It's not any defect on my scalp. Like I said, I don't know if you can see that. Maybe if I stand like that, I'm trying to just aim that right there. Anyways, that's the back of my hand. Let me show you the top of my head. And this is about 8.5 months after surgery. I've shown it to a lot of people, my before and after pictures. Maybe I will do an edit when I get back into America, probably next weekend, where I do a proper, like a legit, I'm actually a video editor, so to be delivering these crappy videos is it's quite below what I'm capable of doing. Even my equipment, I have full lighting and everything. When I started this blog, I just wanted it so people could see the results raw and real, no movie magic to it. And that's how I want to keep it. But like I said, maybe next week I might film a really nice one, because the results are looking good, and I might show some before and after pictures, put the time lapse in, and do some real nice editing to it if I got time. When you do it as work, you really don't want to spend your off time doing it. But right now I got to comb back. And I really like that style, combing it back and up like that. It's just, the reason I don't do it often is because that hairline is just so far back. If I could get it down to right here, that'd probably be my style. I really do like that style. If I go for another surgery, and I've shown people my before pictures, just random relatives and stuff, and they can't even believe it. They're like, how the hell did you get all that hair? The idea of hair transplant, it sounds like, it does sound real to a lot of people. A lot of people are balding. They don't know that's an option for them. They've heard about it. They're skeptical about it. Right there's under light. You can still see fair thinness to it. And you can see it in the front here. It's very thick still. But definitely this crown area is really bothering me. Mainly in photos when I see my pictures from the back. I'm like, holy shit. I look like some old man sitting there. The front, I can comb it front, and I said hairline bothers me, but the front looks fairly good when you comb it front. But definitely if I get to money. These surgeries, about 2,000 grafts, what I've done costs about 10 grand. So you got to think, if I want another 2,000 to crown, another 2,000 for the hairline, and maybe just another 2,000, just to thicken up the whole thing again. That's already 6,000 more grafts, and a total cost of what we're at. 30,000 plus the original practically 10 that I spent on this. You're at $40,000 for a full head of hair. And that's why I attempted it in India. I thought maybe I could get a good cheap deal. I was literally spending $3,000 for 5,000 grafts. And you can see the significant difference in cost in that. But again, with cost, you know, you risk you got to travel out here, you got to find a trustworthy doctor. Like I said, Dr. Nigam, he seemed like a good doctor. He seemed like a great guy. The biggest issues I had is that, you know, in America, a lot of doctors, they brag that, you know, if you're discussing with a doctor such as Dr. Benhem, he's the guy who actually does the surgery. He is there during the whole time. He's using his hands and his energy to pull those follicles out of your head, and then he even makes the holes in your head, and then his technicians plug in the grafts, but he's still there overseeing things. He's there 90% of the procedure. He's the one explaining to you what he's injecting in you before, after, and during, the whole thing. He's there, and that's what I felt comfortable, because everyone I researched in America is you know, at least they say that, and I'm assuming they practice it from all the reviews and stuff I saw. Unless it's like Bosley or something, but again, they have the doctor's still doing the surgery, but I guess again the technicians are plugging in. It's kind of, maybe, I mean, that's where the Dr. Benhem is getting it from. Maybe I'm spoiled with Benhem, but I'm sorry, did I say Dr. Benhem? Dr. Nigam, Dr. Benhem. I think you guys get it. Yeah, leave your comments, reviews on what you think about 10% minoxidil, if you guys have heard about it, if you think it's safe, if you think it's going to work, if you think it's a waste of time. You know, I'll be in touch, you know, keep updating on progress.